We are live. I did post a new YouTube video this weekend. Probably not a lot of help to a lot of y'all. This is more of a, if you don't know what a prop firm is, kind of an intro to prop firm videos. So, and we'll be recontinuing the 3C series this week. All right, large red move right at the gate here. That is about a 80-point move and continuing. Spot Gamma it didn't even know what to do with this morning. They had to post an update to their founders notes, which they already just posted, to kind of accommodate all this movement here. And call premiums are going to be quite inflated with this move. So I'd expect profit taking for people who swung calls over the weekend. Yeah, they're massive moves. These are massive moves. The conditions are great for 3Cs if you can be patient enough to accommodate those setups. ES is rolling over. NASDAQ is. They just hammered back over. Of course, keep a look on the big names here. If you haven't already, you should be looking at the daily chart to see how this presents a setup. We just defended the September lows on the S&P, or I'm sorry, on NASDAQ. S&P did a similar pivot there too. And of course, they launched all the way back up, back into the 800, almost back to 25,000. The market seemed to love 25,000 on the NASDAQ. If you're looking at the S&P, we came on down and bounced off of pretty much the same levels, a little bit lower in August, and they are back into the middle of the range with that one candle. Waiting is a superpower. Yeah, waiting is a superpower. Need I say it? Don't say 25,000. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. They're selling calls here out of the gate. We have a little bit of a top wick there. 24,498 on NASDAQ. We have a bunch of calls selling here. So they've sold about 200 million of calls out of the gate there. Nice little red candle back down to 490. They're still defending the 500 mark. And we're going to see if we have a little bit of too much too fast movement. See what they're going to do. Of course, any red side will defend the 351 where we already did it, where we already came. But we're going to go from there. We have a pretty weak week in the world of catalysts. We don't have much going on. Well, I guess estimated catalysts. Of course, we have geopolitical headline with Iran and whatever Trump is doing now with his back and forth crap, whatever, which is crazy stuff. And if you've been living under the rock the past 12 hours, what happened yesterday? Trump came out and said they're going to annihilate the country of Iran. In fact, it was his most aggressive tweet yet. His tweets have been, varying of degrees of consequence. And yesterday he laid down the gauntlet and saying we are going to obliterate the country of Iran. Because now Iran says they're going to smoke the strait and all this crazy stuff. And then, of course, we wake up today and found out that apparently they've been in negotiations for the past 48 hours. And we have a 1,000-point rally on NASDAQ. Then Iran comes out and says, I don't know what they're talking about. We haven't talked to anybody in the administration whatsoever. And then Trump responds with, I don't know what Iran is talking about. We have, and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, hey, that's a great idea. The next time I get in a fight with my wife, I have like one of those knockout fights that last all day. At the end of the day, I'm going to be like, you know what? That was a great resolution. I'm glad I won. You're right that I am right. I was right all along. It's a fantastic resolution. I'm glad we had this discussion. And she's going to be like, what the crap are you talking about? It's a great, if you think about it, it's a fantastic strategy. It's actually so crazy that the other person doesn't even know how to respond. So anyway, all that stuff has happened. Of course, we rocketed up like this. Hold on, the YouTube one on it. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so what do we have here? We have now a very large inflated move up to 24,800, which we're not moving through, and there's a peacock outside my window. And now we're dealing with the ramifications of that. We have a very large call premiums that are on the books from a swing call. And then we have the VIX has been back and forth. Somebody asked what the VIX is. The VIX is a representation of hedging flows from the 28 to 32 day time frame. So it doesn't take into account 0DT. So when you see the VIX spike or move it to make its move, there's a lot of hedging built into that. A lot of hedging built in. So the fact that if you look in the daily chart and the VIX has been pretty much leveling over 25 into 30 for the past month since the beginning of March, it tells you that people have, or larger money institutions have been placing a lot of money into downside hedges. They're protecting themselves for a downside move, and rightfully so. We haven't really sold off, but we have finally started to break below the range a little bit. Yesterday, Friday really helped get us out of the range. And of course, now we're back inside the range. So I would keep a close eye on the VIX. If they finally start to liquidate the VIX under 20 and back down into 17s, then that would probably mean the selling is over and we're back inside the range for the foreseeable future. The fact that none of this crap that with Iran has really gotten us out says a lot to this market's ability to bottom wick. And I think a lot of that has to do with the zero DT options. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Good morning. A little bit more red coming off, 453. He didn't see her for 3 days. Yeah, really. A Jedi mind trick my wife all the time. Yeah. So what we're seeing here literally is red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. This is the 1 minute chart. It's terrible. I don't recommend taking a trade right now. Let the market kind of figure out, because I can see a too much, too fast move here to kind of suction back down as dealers take profits on those calls. But you never know. You never know. Andy, yeah, my name's not Andy, but you're overlooking the military strategy. You're just looking at the superficial reason why Aaron Ryan. Think of it as military minded. Oh, I know exactly why they're doing it. Like I 100% understand why they're doing it. I mean, I did go through many years of top secret briefings. But I also have other reasons why, which I'm not going to discuss on the stream. A little bit of green up to 24,500. We have 206 million of calls sold and 92 million puts purchased. Back up to 500. $24,520 coming back up here. No trades just yet. If you look across everything that's going on here, of course we have TLT is pretty much been downtrending now for a while. It finally popped up here to 86.21. We have the yields have been spiking as well. The 10-year, 2-year have been spiking, but today they are down to 4.36. The 30-year mortgage is spiking back up to 7% again, unfortunately. Another big green up to on NASDAQ there. Took a small long on gold. Beautiful. Another top wick. Nothing of real... oh, we have a high volume spike on that top wick there. We have a nice top wick with volume. We have put selling and a little bit of call buying here. Just a wee bit amount. Watch Iran come out and say no such talks happen. They already have. They already have done that. $24,520. ES is coming back up. We have call buying, put selling here, hitting the tape. In fact, 300 million worth of zero DT calls just hit. And now we're starting to climb a little bit up. XLF is coming up. Apparently the owner of OnlyFans has died from cancer. Interesting. Who's ready for Taco Tuesday? I do love me some tacos. All right, 15-minute chart, longer time frames. We are just maintaining the flag here at 525.30 after the initial pop to 763. So there's no follow through, but there's also no sell-offs. So we're just kind of chilling. They are aggressively selling puts here. aggressively selling puts on the 0 DTE mark here, which could mean either drop or simply just no more downside. But we'll see how things are going to play out. We do have a high volume spike on this 1 minute candle with an aggressive top wick, but they did that thing where they immediately top wick and then immediately buying it back up the next candle. So when I see that type of setup, I got to be careful shorting. The top wick higher move is a very difficult one, so you have to really wait for the 3Cs before executing a short position. The good news is that once they do execute a 3C short signal, there's a lot of movement for downside, a lot of potential for downside. Kinetic versus potential, that's the beautiful thing. Another bottom wick. $512, $509, $508. NASDAQ is coming off. There's that high volume dropping back over. Seeing what they can do. Can we get a full range? That'd be nice. Beautiful move. 3Cs pinpointing a clear point. There you go, 3Cs. Two new pro accounts today. One small pre-market win. Going to be careful. Nothing by 10:45. Wait till power hour. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Let's go take a look at gold. This is ridiculous. I have like very large peacocks sitting outside my window. Anyway, large green candle coming up, 560. Back and forth. Back and forth. Can't imagine World War II by tweet. We've stormed the beaches of Normandy. No, you haven't. No. There's a lot of volume on these past two candles here, too, on the 1 minute. And they're still coming up. The good thing about this much movement, though, there's a whole bunch of opportunity here. And right now, we are playing a game of chicken with the markets. Who's going to blink first? Let them shake and kick and scream. Who's going to blink first? Let's go take a look at gold. $15-minute charts. Gold put on an awesome 15-minute 3C right there after an SR flip at the weekly low, 44.78. Large move, red top wick back over, under very high volume. And in fact, they have double top wicked off of that. So if gold can maintain under this SR flip right here, then that is a short signal back down to 4,105, which would be an extraordinarily large move. When I was trading options, a move like this morning's would have crushed me. It's so hard to imagine ever going back to that kind of chaos, the stress, noise, and constant pressure of it all. 100%, Pastor. 100%. Can you say that one more time with gold? Yeah, so gold has came up and retested the SR flip right here at 4503.3. It came up and rejected it twice, all with extraordinarily high volume. And now we're just kind of up here at 40. So as long as it holds under this SR flip right here at 4503 or so, 4504, then that's still a short confirmed signal for gold. Another red candle for the NASDAQ. Gold is not bullish until it reclaims that pivot. We'll get together with Ryan probably by phone, hope to settle this. So they haven't talked. So what? So what? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Extraordinary put selling here. The options look very bullish. Very bullish. I'm going to do everything I can to sit out the first half hour. Why is the market green when he clearly lied about the peace talks? I guess fraud is not the word you're looking for. Imagine simply throwing a couple micro longs last night, waking up to that move. Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, um, that right there was a very, very large level for NASDAQ. Very large level. But it happened overnight. It's like Sudoku with fractions. What does SR mean? It's support resistance flip. So when you see like a prior resistance turn into a new support or the other way around, that just tells you there's a good amount of liquidity there. It's an offering for both sides of the book. And, we don't know why or how, the reason why they picked that level, but it's the fact that it is there. And when the markets choose an area and they bounce off of it aggressively on whatever time frame you choose to select, and then they breach it, and now they're using it as resistance, that is called a liquidity offering, where people who usually treat that as demand, or the dealers or whoever, are now selling into that level. So when a market flips like that, it's usually a pretty bearish sign to the downside, and then bullish if it's flipped the other way around. This is a pretty terrible open. Pretty terrible. We have 365 million puts sold, 163 million calls purchased, and the market is just flipping back and forth, red, green, red, green. Let's go to the S&P. They are a little bit more bearish than the NASDAQ right here. Let's go take a look at the mega caps. What are they doing? Nvidia is doing the same thing. It's like the markets don't really know how to respond to this. The options have kind of had their day in the sun, and now we're just chilling up here. They are starting to sell some calls. My plan to sit on the hands for the open has resulted in no bad trades and no loss of money. There you go. Well, there's no clear setups here. There's not much here. So, we should be doing nothing at this point. Still going green. Just past my eval. Calling it. Nice lower to Quackazoid. Started today 1 Apex 100K eval. Thoughts after being funded is a lot of rules. Has a lot of rules in my opinion. I don't know. What do y'all think about Apex? 24,577. 400 million. The new rules, I should say. 400 million puts sold. Still going. They're certainly selling a whole bunch of calls here, so the option chains look bullish. They look bullish. VIX is kind of chilling at 24.43, trickling down. RTY bounced up more aggressively too. Passed a Lucid 50K account, shorting gold. Nice. Do I have a day job? Well, yes and no. Well, I used to be, I was a pilot in the Air Force for many, many years. I stepped down doing that, and I do have many other roles, but not in the traditional W-2 sense, no. Still make money from Apex Weekly from a rotation of PA accounts. Nice. Yeah, I do like the new rule change they have, and with 20 accounts, it's very attractive. All I need is one good week, and I can make a year's worth of profits on Apex. So I do like the fact they have made changes to the rules, as long as they stick to it. Another bottom wick. Options are very, very bullish. Straight on call selling, or call buying and put selling. Puts are straight up right here. So, no shorting until you have a positive 3C. This Discord is your day job. You're always available to us. That is correct. That is correct. I feel like I have like 300 girlfriends that I have to text all the time. It's exhausting. I'm just kidding. Hey. Option premiums are jacked. They are jacked, yep. 24,600 on NASDAQ. We have a pivot at 645. They're slowly creeping up. The options are very bullish. Be aware if you're attempting to short, options are not on your side. They are still climbing aggressively. You just got called a girlfriend, yeah. What are the new rules? I don't know exactly, but they did come out and said they're no longer denying any payouts, and a couple. I'd have to look at. I have to look at it, and I don't remember. I'm not interested in any calls right now, to be honest. You and me both, brother. You and me both. So this is the 5-minute chart. If you're just now looking at the charts for the first time, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a 1,000-point candle on NASDAQ. We went up 1,000 points off of that tweet. You mentioned last week about something about one-on-ones. Did you bring back tier 3? No, but I did. I am now offering one-on-ones. So if you would like to have an hour of one-on-one, then you can go on the website and sign up for that. Not sure if I'm getting more experience or if the markets haven't been more clear, but over the past 2-3 weeks, the 3C setups have been pretty obvious. 100% Quackazoid. Yeah. But can you, especially kind of what you were just saying, you're getting more experience. That experience will show you that the less you do, the more you make. If you could sit here and just wait and wait and wait for the right setup, the 3Cs will present themselves. And you can make great money doing that. But if you're back and forth and discombobulated, shorting and longing everything, then you're not really going to be a pick out much. And I always say this, and I stick to it, that if everything is a setup to you, then nothing is a setup. You don't have a system if you can see 20 trades a day, then you don't have a system, because no system identifies 20 trades a day. Unless you are, an algo trader who is automatically scalping the spreads. If you're scalping the spreads with some computer, then by all means, a little bit of arbitrage action in there. So, once again, DB, my name is not Andy. So, and yes, I promise you, I know more than you about military strategy. I don't get my news from Twitter. I spent my entire life in the skiff. I think you just claim pimping ain't easy. Yeah. 24,600. We have a little bit of rollover on the calls there from 304. Rejected off 600. And a volume spike on the 855 candle. We do have, of course, the top of the hour in 4 minutes. We have construction spending at the top of the hour, which is a 2-star event, and that's it for the day. That's it. Tomorrow, we have S&P Global Manufacturing at 9:45, and that's pretty much it. And then today's assist, so there's not much going on. I have a time of day lockout with my personal risk management at Iron Beam, so 4 more minutes till I can trade and talk about important weight. There you go. Did you see my question? Even if it's bull, you can. Hold on, what question you have? Can you check my account to make sure it's good when you switched over? Yes, I can do that. Yeah. Sorry, I get a lot of messages in here, and I've only got 2 eyes. I played Civ. I'm basically a general. There you go. The options have top wick just a little bit here, a little bit of call selling, put buying at the moment after a prolonged bullish move. $578. Haven't taken a single trade this morning. Not a single one. I hated working in the skiff as a E6 on my last deployment. It's like being out on the streets, combat minute life. Yeah. You like being out on the streets, yeah. It gets, you're definitely locked in a hole. There's no communication with the outside world. Heck, there were times when we were on combat ops that, 12, 15 hours were locked back there. Aggressive options to the downside there. Interesting. Well, they are selling a bunch of calls here and buying back some puts. The market is still holding up at the 588 area. But we do have a high volume top wick at 955. 590. Going green to 600. Things are starting to shake. Here comes the 10 o'clock candle. Let's see what they're going to do with this. Aggressive call selling. So maybe we'll have a little profit taking. We'll see. But still nothing yet. Let's go to the 5-minute. 5-minute is still 5-minute bottom wicks. We have tons of call selling hit in the books. They're selling off all the calls, and they're trickling into some put buying. And all I'm waiting for is a high volume top wick 3C indication, at least on the 5-minute. Right now, we're not really getting that. We'll see what this red candle can do here on the 5-minute. I'd love to get under 543 on NASDAQ. 543 will give us a pretty decent move down. But they can't do it yet. They're still up here at 600. I'm just waiting, man. I'm just waiting. Should we take a vote? What do y'all think's going to happen? 577, 576. Patience for a 3C. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You think we go down to around 500 here? That would be nice. They're back to, I mean, the options continue to be bullish. Even right now, they're buying them back up. So I don't just see much. This is incredibly great. It's like the market doesn't know what to do here. The options have taken their profit. They sold off all the calls and then bought them back up. And we're still up here in the 600 area. The VIX is still up and down. So now the bulls are on the clock here. The bulls, it's incumbent on them to reclaim higher prices and make sure that this sell-off doesn't happen. So if we start drifting into the afternoon and we haven't gone anywhere, that's when I'm going to start to reshort this thing back down. I've learned that waiting beats losing any day. Patience may feel slow, but it's always cheaper than a mistake. 100%. I'd rather make nothing than lose. 100%. They're going to go up until about Wednesday and then back down Chop City. Yeah, that's probably right. I know I've asked this before, but what are you using to follow options? I'm using what's called Spot Gamma's Hero tool. It's the left side of the YouTube screen there. You see the green line and blue lines going up and down. That is the options flow, and it tracks 0D to E options. HIRO. Every trader and algorithm has no idea what's going to happen next. That's probably pretty accurate. Yeah. It makes you wonder, would you rather have a volatile market where the president can tweet, or go back to what they did 30 years ago where no volatility and no tweets? Another large red candles. Where's the volume? What's the volume like? That looks like more of a double top off 611. There's a lot of selling up in this area. You see, every time we come above the 600 area, we have aggressive move lower. And this time is no different. Trump said Iran called him. He didn't call them. More red candles coming off. Coming off. Here it comes. I don't think it matters. My whole plan was to let today shake out and trade later in the week after they give me some levels. I think they go back down next week unless something really positive materializes with Iran. Yeah, you're probably right. More red, 24,551. Beautiful move, and this is where they've bounced now at this 540. So once there we go. There's our 3C. Under this level, things are starting to get a little more spicy. These candles are starting to expand a little bit better. A little bit change of character on the markets. Broke the trend line, broke the 3Cs, have high volume top wicks. Doing its thing. We had no tweets 2 years ago. 100%. 100%. You're welcome, Chris. Trump is starting to sound like the psycho ex-girlfriend that just makes up a ton of crap about your relationship. Yeah, probably. Let's take a look at the old Traceroni. Not the top wick on NASDAQ. 546. All that exposure lower has been rolled up to 6,700. Where is SPX? 6630. Interesting. During what time of history have we had a president create his own social media so he can post whatever he wants? So what a time to be alive. Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is nothing new. It's just back in the 1700s they did it with horse and buggy and newspaper. It just took a year for the markets to react to it because that's how long it took the newspaper to get to you. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin crypto? Honestly, I don't follow them right now. I'm not a big crypto guy. It's too volatile for my taste. But it got liquidated over the weekend. It dropped below 67,000 last I checked. So who knows? Everything liquidated this weekend, and then of course bounced back up. Gold, silver, oil, everything. Crypto. What's up, Frumple? Big green candle back up. Haven't taken a single trade today. Options are still bullish. Let's go to the 15-minute. What do we see? This is the 15-minute chart. We have this flag pattern up here, 24,570. 24,570. Do y'all think the CIA created Bitcoin? Do y'all buy into that? VIX 2451. NASDAQ back down. Top wick. %. There's no follow through on anything right now, so all candles are limited to about a 2-candle move, and that's it. And then wicked. So on the 1-minute chart, every single candle's been wicked after about 2 candles. So it's very difficult to catch a move, which is why I told you all you need to be in low position sizing and hold positions. Yeah, hold on, I get there. Apparently there's some scammers in the server. Got to get them out. I only have one scammer in here, so if you're getting multiple requests, then you'll have to deny their friend request. In my opinion, it was created by a quant that has passed already. Interesting. I'm surprised it hasn't started heading lower faster since they lied about talks with Iran. Well, I mean, there's always there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, obviously things have been volatile lately, and now things are not necessarily so volatile. There's Hero. Gold might be putting on a short signal here at our trigger. Right here at the SR flip of 44.80. If it holds under this 44.80, that's when you're looking for downside. Silver's kind of doing the same thing. RTY is holding. NASDAQ is 590, another aggressive bottom wick here. This is terrible price action. Bitcoin was created to take control away from the British monarchs who stole our gold. YouTube Idris Elba's Bank Vault of England. Isn't that guy an actor? They have 400,000 bars. Now you know why Trump asked, where's our gold? I'd be surprised if it's in Kentucky. Interesting. A lot of crazy stuff out there. I don't really see nothing worth trading. I'm riding shotgun with OM. Yeah, 100% LeVar. Yeah, buddy. Hey, OM, struggling a little with testing. What's up, man? If opportunity presents itself, would you be able to show some examples of low volume tests? Yeah. Yeah, low volume tests are usually signs of continuation. Usually. That's a high volume candle right there on the 1 minute at 10:11. $600 double top wick off 600. So the markets definitely aren't liking 600, and we have another move into it. I just want to kiss a 594 so I can close my broker for the day. Well, yeah, I think you just got it. Oil got clobbered. They're down to 88.6. Another major rejection off of 100. Seems to base around 80.8. Now the bottom wick. No trades worth taking. Extremely choppy. Big move. Yep. Once again, the big move is pre-market. 100%. Yep. There we go. Breaking out again. 620. Options aren't rarely responsive. Another red move. Ooh, instant red candle. $626. Some guy posted a $64,000 screenshot because he longed the exact bottom before that big green candle on his top step. Too bad he can only take out $5,000 of it. Should have done it on TakeProfitTrader. You'd be able to take it all out. That's why I'm no longer using top step. They would have just pulled him to live and paid him 0. Yeah, they would have. So I'm telling you, man. Better firms out there. Better firms out there. They did that to me on 15K worth of payout. What Top Step did? 3 evals passed. I have a total of 5 to pass. In order for me to qualify for the contest, I need to hold all 5 evals. Well, you have to have signed up within the first 6 days of the month. And then one of those evals, I mean, you could have as many evals as you wanted to. And the evals you sign up using the code in that time frame, assuming you filled out the entry form as well, that has to be used for your funded account. And your funded account has to be open for 30 days for the contest, while actively trading and taking payouts. Is your opening range the 15-minute or 30? It's 1 hour. This is the first hour of the day, which it hasn't set yet, so it's still adjusting as we climb higher here. And we'll be looking at what about a 200 plus range? And we still have 14 minutes left in the range. At 3 accounts, I was taking max payout on, and then we closed for the day. Reopened at 5 and went to withdraw, wouldn't let me. Yep. I'm telling you, man, Top Step is gone way downhill, and think about as much money as I made in December and January, and the fact that I could only touch a fraction of it was a deal breaker for me, and it aggravated the crap out of me because if I would have made that kind of money with TPT, I'd have got every dime of it. But Top Step, it's just terrible. There's already enough roadblocks with trading. We don't have to, to be able to touch zero money we make. You're welcome. You're welcome. We have put, selling, call buying. We have moves up on the NASDAQ. The S&P is doing the same thing, grinding up into the 6690 area. Would they be able to take money out on TPT if you weren't live? Yes. 10K or more doesn't stop you for the day, pull you live. Not anymore. They changed the rules. So a $10,000 day no longer automatically pulls you to live. So now they make a decision based on live. However, when you move to live, you can take out every dime except for the buffer. They require $5,000. They require $5,000 to move over into the live for the buffer, and everything else is yours. But that $5,000 is still your money. So if you fail the live account, you still get that $5,000. So you get every dime when they pull you into live. Sue Top Step? Yeah. No, I'm good. I agree to the rules. So, I mean, and you can't sue them. Plus, not to mention, suing just takes more money and time anyway. What's the worst TPT has done? Man, to me, I've never had a problem with anything TPT has done. I mean, their rules, the trailing drawdown sucks. But once you get through that, I mean, it's the best by far. There's nothing better than TPT. So, I mean, I've never had a problem with anything they've done. Another large top wick. Aggressive put selling. If you notice, TPT stays out of the news. They don't get involved in drama. They don't have a bunch of crazy rules. They don't deny payouts. I mean, it's just they keep to themselves. They lay down the rules up front. You adhere to them, you get paid. Period. Period. I was curious because it is straightforward. It's very straightforward. That's why, I mean, I appreciate them very much because they're very straightforward. Yeah. I've taken very large payouts with TPT, and I've taken very small payouts with them, and they've never even come close to denying any one of them. Nor have I ever had to provide proof. Does TPT use a bunch of influencers? A couple. Not a bunch, but I mean a couple. Of course, every prop firm does. So. Yeah, they just cleaned out a bunch of influencers. So they sent out a tweet saying that they're going to cancel many influencers' accounts. I made the cut. Red candle's coming off a little bit. We still have aggressive options flow to the bull side. 24, 640, 640, 650. Do you split profits with TPT? You do? 90-10. Yeah. I noticed TPT Reddit was getting a bunch of scam posts how TPT's going under. Clear side, the rules are doing their job. Yeah. Well, some dude posted a tweet this weekend that went viral. That was like TPT, quietly canceled all their affiliate accounts, and they didn't. I mean, it's a complete lie. They tweeted about it before they did it, but they were reducing the size of their affiliates. 24,650 coming up right here. New high of the day, still going. We have 9 minutes till the hour close. Going up. All I'm doing is waiting for volume spikes. If you go to the 5 minute, this is what we have. That's right, yeah. That's how they stay in business. Still going. NASDAQ is at previous day highs. Yeah, they're coming up to the prior overnight highs. Yeah, but they've already blown through that. They blew through that this overnight session, so that's already dealt with. Now they're coming up to the overnight high of about 760. I want to buy USO CDSs. Any suggestions? Probably not a bad idea with everything that's going on here. I mean, they're kind of absorbing 100 here. The market definitely doesn't want oil to go, or at least the futures to go over 100. The Brent's already at like 114. But the futures, they definitely don't want to go over 100. It's probably not a bad idea to take just not too aggressive, just a moderately positioned CDS. Aggressive call buying, put selling, straight up. I had 2 golds at 480 instead of GC. MGC. No, don't be, man. That's good position sizing. OM convinced me, yeah. I had no complaints, but the only annoying thing from me is I used OM code for a new test. I had to reset, and I used credits from Payouts. When I passed the test, it didn't give me the free activation. Huh. I read that after you use credits, no free activation. Yeah, so if you do use a credit, you'll have to pay the activation fee. Yeah. Back to the topic higher price action. So far, yeah. You want problems? All right, so this is a pretty strong move here. We're already up 240 points from the day's lows. Haven't taken the trade, man. I'm sticking. Like Mondays have been typically, usually from a historical standpoint, Friday is usually my worst day. However, the past couple of months, Mondays have taken the toll. They have been usually the worst day for me. So I'm just being a little chill. Is gold finally showing signs of life? Guess I'm waiting for the overnight high to fade. Yeah, you and me both, man. That would be great. Let's take a look at gold. Everything is bright green, by the way. All the X's, all the S&P is green. Gold's finally taken up higher, 45.11. It's been straight up here too. Highest volume candle of the day was right there at 45.16. Gold's showing some signs of bubbling. You don't use Bookmap anymore? I do. So I still use Bookmap. It's just on a laptop now because it kept wrecking my computer. This new 3C method more understandable. Yeah, definitely. So I finally found a way to teach the VPA in a very consumable format. So 40-point move down on NASDAQ off of the highs. They're still selling a crap ton of puts. Large red move starting to form. So far, one of the biggest red moves of the session forming now. Didn't get up to the overnight high yet. That's what I was hoping for. But they are selling a bunch of puts. Look at that, straight up. I'm going to hit refresh on this baby. No, they started buying them back. Look at that. Interesting. Gold was wild last night. It was wild last night. Options data is interesting. Large red move is forming. They just bought 900 million worth of puts they just bought. And they sold off 700 million worth of calls. Very interesting. That was the biggest sell of the day so far. Off that wick. I think the music I'm listening to is a little bit too relaxed. Kind of putting me to sleep here. I had a better night than all Friday. I'm loving the volatility. No hurry to trade. There you go. I love volatility too. Double top from 730. Wick. That'd be nice. Let's see what happens here. Large red candles. 30-point move there. They are still selling calls, still coming down. More red. They're selling a bunch of calls. The options flow has aggressively changed directions. They've aggressively changed directions. Look at this. Thank you. Look at that options flow. So let's see what they do. If they can finally get something moving, maybe we'll have a decent moving of a day here. Maybe come back down to equilibrium. What's the 50%? Was it down here at about 560 or so? Man, they sold off all the calls. Massive profit taking on the calls there. %50 mark is right here at 560. Interesting. All the way off. Just got an email from our loan servicers. I guess our property taxes went up again, so our escrow payment's going up. Yeah, that's hitting everyone hard. Big time. Big time. They're still selling calls all the way back off. They're just kind of holding at 620, 630 here after a very aggressive move down. Biggest aggressive move of the day. But, yeah, they are buying it all the way back up. So, there you go. 630, 640. They put on, if they close out the highs, then, you know, back to the normal stuff. Back to the normal stuff. Five-minute nothing but bottom wicks. So if they close over, there we go, four. So yeah, it's going to go right back to the highs. Don't worry about it. So this is exactly why I'm not taking any positions, because there's no follow-through on anything. Everything's just wicked and reversed and pivoted and just nonsense. Tremendous amount of options flow turned bearish, but they're still hammering the tape here right on back up. But yeah, 640, 650. There we go. I'll climb right on back to new highs. The thing is, though, and things I've learned is that on a day like today, where you're just waiting for a short, waiting for a short, waiting for a short, today they're going to punish everybody trying to short. Tomorrow they'll reverse every penny of it. So they know everyone's trying to short this. So they're going to punish everything. They're going to bottom wick everything. They're going to grind this up to new highs tomorrow. That's when the short comes. That's when every dime gets reversed. Inside a gold vault. Interesting. Tremendous put selling. Or put buying and call selling. Tremendous. $35 million calls. Yep, no thanks. Gym time. Nice, Jonathan. bottom wicking again. So there you go. Overall, 560 would be great. That would be a 50% mark. It would kind of refresh the charts here, but they're still hammering everything. They can't more than one candle. So unless the options turn very, like they start buying up, 500, 600, 700 million worth of puts, unless that starts to happen, I'm not really interested in shorting. It's just they're going to bottom wick everything right in front of you. So until then, just fade it or play the bounces until it starts to lose. Every single candle's bottom wicked. Large red sweeping red candle immediately bottom wicked, 640. They are selling off all the calls still, but it doesn't matter. There we go. Yeah, it's boring. Maybe we'll get a tweet, shake things up a little bit. That'd be nice. A little bit of a tweet. Another red candle. They are starting to sell off into call territory here. 47 million calls sold. Definitely markets are. They took a very large overnight move here, but they're defending that move very nicely. Very, very nicely. There's a large red. Oil's trying to tempt a pop. Yeah. What's the new 3C method? Is it different? Well, I mean, I've only had one 3C system. It's just I've been teaching VPA now for, 5 years now, and I've never had a good way to teach it in a widely consumable format because VPA is very much interpretation based. I guess experience based is a better explanation. It's very hard to take VPA and put it into a brand new beginner's hands and say go forth and conquer because there's a lot of experience that you have to accumulate there. But the 3Cs I think do a good job of visualizing the setups that you need to be looking for. Volume spikes at support or resistance, accommodating wicks to pick out direction, and then of course follow through. It helps you understand the system. And I came up with that back in the summertime, and it seems to be working well in terms of people understanding it. Another top wick. So that was quite a large red move. It went from 650 down to 50-point crash, and the options are turning bearish, but I mean they're still holding just fine. Like I said, we need at least the 50% mark to kind of get things going, but there's no extension. There's no extension. Every candle's wicked and absorbed and reversed and whatever. So we'll see here. Unfortunately, they continue the trend of having the fun overnight. And they make us scramble for moves during the session. However, any videos you want to see content made over, let me know. And I have a notebook where I keep ideas for content. So if there's something specific that you need to have more clarification over, then please let me know. More red candles coming down. 604. Gold's coming off after a high volume top week. That's a beautiful 3C on gold. Beautiful. Silver's starting to come off there too. They have sold an aggressive amount of calls, but maybe have a late day break. Maybe power hour will be spicy today. Do you see that the betting markets have priced in an 86% probability of a nuclear strike? It's crazy. How often does he live trade on YouTube? Every day, Monday through Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is open to the public. Tuesdays and Thursdays is locked for the Discord. So what's my win rate on average? It varies, but usually it settles about 75%. Usually, sometimes lower, sometimes higher. That's usually where I settle, though. Your audio has been hanging in all morning for me. Great news. Nice, Phil. Awesome. 24,607. Markets don't like this 600 mark. They're selling tons of calls. Tons of them. $272 million calls sold right here. And still drilling. 617. Let's hit refresh on this baby. A little bit of a green pop there. But the calls are straight down. I don't know how the market's not sliding at the moment. But yeah, they're just still defending the 600 mark like it's going out of style. We'll see. If it can give up this mark, then you can play down to the 50% mark of 560. So if we give out this little support at 605 or so, you've got about a 40 to 50 point buffer to play down to once you get a 3C. And then after that, only after that, do you even consider low of the day. But yeah, nice little move here. They're selling a crap ton of calls, but markets are stagnant. They're not moving. But if we can get under the 603 mark, 604 mark, then you could play for the 50% mark. We're stuck. Large riddle. Hey, look at that. They gave a little red flusheroni. Are they zeros? Yes, sir. Heroes. The heroes look is turning bearish. It's not. I wouldn't call it bearish yet, although it's looking like that way. It's definitely heading that direction. Call selling is picking up steam. Am I self-taught? How long have I been doing this? I like the simplicity. This is my 15th year in the markets. So, am I self-taught? I can't. I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you I'm self-taught. Have I had a personal mentor? No, but I've learned everything I know. Like Anna Coling, I've read her book. It's fantastic. I've read every other popular investing book. I've watched YouTube videos from people who are way better than I am. So, have I had a personal mentor sitting beside me? No, but the 3C system is not something I created. I've just taken VPA, which is Anna Coling's book, and I've condensed it down into a version that's consumable for my YouTube followers. That's it. But highly encourage you to read Anna Coling's book, Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis. I also have an interview with her that I did on YouTube that you can go back and look at. It's very good. All right, here comes a little bit more red. Can we get under 600 and give us a 3C back down till 560 for a 50-point move, which will go down to 434. IB is juiced. More mango tweets. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. $592. Iran foreign minister said there's no talks with the United States. Trump's statements are an attempt to lower energy prices and buy time for military plans. I believe it. All right, here's our 3C finally. Here comes 560, which is the 50%. That's your first target. Five minutes before Trump's announcement this morning, $1.5 billion of notional worth of the S&P futures were purchased. Unless somebody has impeccable timing, somebody knew what was coming. But remember to pay your taxes. You've got about 3 weeks until you're thrown in jail if you don't pay your taxes. Bottom wick back up. I still owe back to 23. They're behind the curve on jailing people. Hey, do you know you can request a first-time tax abatement? So if you've ever paid penalties and interest, you can request a refund of those penalties and interest one time. You just have to call them. As long as you consistently pay your tax, I guess. Would you classify yourself as a seven-figure trader? No, I would not. No, I would not. Do I have 7 figures of assets? Maybe. Do I trade with 7 figures? Absolutely not. Do I have 7 figures in my day trading account? Absolutely not. That is big boy money for me, and I don't day trade with that kind of fun, with those kind of funds. I invest with those kind of funds, but I don't day trade with those kind of funds. Can you clarify what you mean by target? At what price are you looking to do a earn position? Yeah, so what I'm looking for here is based on the 3 C's, is a 5-minute close below a lower low, at which point we didn't get it yet. So there's 3 things. There's 3 things that are with the 3 C's, obviously, the 3 C's. You have volume spike, you have wick, and you have a follow through. If I want to look for a reversal or a bounce, whichever, I need to see the price action show that there's a high volume at a level. I need to see a wick, and I need to see a follow through that closes. At this point, we didn't get any. We didn't get at least the third C, the confirmation. And this reason why I haven't done much today, because the signals just aren't clear. Look at the volume. We don't really have any clear outlier volume spikes. We don't have any clear bounces or recoveries at obvious targets. Everything's kind of erratic. I didn't short this move because we didn't really get much there, and I was looking for the overnight high retest to give us a good high volume inflow, and we just didn't get it. Now we have this little back and forth kind of grind down. So none of this here is really high confidence to me. It's not what I would want to see after a 1,000-point move up on a tweet, but it is what it is. So at this point, I'm not doing much. I'm just waiting for a good opportunity here to put on some risk, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. The options are back to put selling, so it's just back and forth. If I have to be honest, I think the markets have no idea what to do here. We're kind of in that hedged time frame market where the positions are there to protect, but no one else knows where to move this market. Obviously, going back in June and July, there's not enough energy to get the market higher, but we're kind of waiting for the next step to drop lower. So it's just not much going on. Hey, massive top wick here. So it's just back and forth. Do I want to chase this red candle? No, because you're going to get clapped. It's just back and forth. It's erratic. No bueno. No bueno. Do you send notification for your trades? My swing trades, I do, yes. But the scalps, it's difficult to notify people that quickly of a scalp. But swing trades, yes, I do. Another top wick here. What do we got going on? What do we got going on? We just rejected 66.95. Today's chest day. Nice. Nice. So yesterday, we were working out in the garage yesterday, having a family fitness day, and my son was trying to max out on deadlift, and he put on, he got up there and he put on 405 and he couldn't get it. But I was doing something else. I wasn't even doing deadlifts. So he's like, hey, you can't even. I was giving him crap for it, and he's like, you can't do this. I was like, heck yeah. So without warming up, I just went over, picked it up like it was nothing, which surprised me. So I had to show my old man strength. But I'm kind of regretting it today. Dad core memory. Hopefully, that's the point. You have to show off a little bit to your kids sometimes. How many successful, profitable traders do you have in your Discord who learn and listen to you? I mean, I don't know exactly, but I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of members have been here since the beginning who haven't left. So I would assume I'm doing something right, and they're doing something right. More importantly, but yeah. If anybody wants to chime in on YouTube and answer his question, feel free. Got the show to Young Buck. Yeah, he ain't got me. He'll overtake me in a couple of years, especially as I get older. But I'm not going to make it easy for him. Coming off here, 590. Of course, trading is not easy. Trading is not easy. Why do you move away from options and focus more on futures? I haven't. I do both. I trade options and futures. But options for me are when conditions are correct. And right now, for me, the past 6 months, the conditions have not been right for options because theta is too much of a play in your options positions, and the markets haven't moved since July. So it's not conducive for successful option trading, and I don't like scalping zero DTEs unless there's a very good reason to do so. So for me, I mean, I've toyed in with a couple of options here and there, but I'm just chilling with futures until the market starts to move. And when markets move, I'll go back into swinging options. Another top wick here on NASDAQ ES is they're doing that thing too. Silver is kind of just frolicking, not much. RTY is flagging higher. RTY is bottom wicking to go higher. NASDAQ is putting on a little pin action here. I just don't like it. What's your opinion on TakeProfitTrader? Why do you like them? I mean, obviously, I'm a very big fan of TakeProfitTrader. I am an affiliate of TakeProfitTrader, but I'm an affiliate of only TakeProfitTrader. And there's a reason why, because they're the only ones that right now, I mean, I would like to affiliate with more if I believe in them. But TPT right now is the only one I fully believe in who have no shenanigans. My belief is that if you're going to put your money in a firm like that to waste your time trading, not waste, but spend your time trading and making money, I want them to have faith that they can take it, they can request a payout and take the money, and TPT does that. There are no shenanigans with TPT. There's no restrictions. There's no payout caps. There's no burden of proof. Literally, you request a payout. As long as you don't do that hedging rule, you get your money, period. It's instant. Plus, you could take daily payouts. It's the closest thing to a real brokerage account that prop firms offer. And that's the best way I can explain it. What's a hedging rule? They don't want you to long NASDAQ and short micro NASDAQ at the same time. You can't do that. That's hedging. You can't be long and short the same or similar product at the same time, which that's not their rule. That's a CME rule. Hey, another top wick here. This looks like absorption into this lower bound. So it's kind of doing that thing where down, 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 and then finally breach maybe. But no, never mind. Large green candle back up. Engulfing green back up. And this one's going to take it to the highs. Isn't it in the best interest of prop firms to have successful traders? Not necessarily. I mean, these evals are a big part of their business model. And if traders are failing and resetting, then yeah, they're going to make a lot of money. So we'll see. Hey, large red candle. Look at that thing. That's crazy. Calm down, still absorbing. Yeah. We have call selling, and this is just absorbing down into this 590 model. Don't they make money? They do, yeah, but I mean, they're part of their business model is to capture the jabronis, the gamblers. If you're going to gamble your money with prop firms, and they'll gladly take it. They're still a business. Man, this 590 mark is concrete. Concrete. $599, $600. TPT is awesome. You make too much money to simply move your life. Yep. Yeah. They're still selling calls. They're still selling puts, both sides of the tape. We keep having this back and forth, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. There's no clear edge on anything. And markets are still defending 24,590. The ES is still holding 6690. R2Y is heading higher. And if we can finally break under the 590 mark for a 3C, then and only then can we play down to the 50% mark. But yeah, we're just chilling. There's a large red candle that hopped all the way back over, but it's bottom wicking back up, which most likely means we are going all the way back up to the highs. Here comes the jackhammer, yeah. I've been out here backing some of you jabronis with my hard-earned losses. Well, yeah, I mean, just be smart, you know. Don't make them rich. The point of prop firms is to make you rich, not them. They're still selling calls back over. Thoughts on Lucid? I haven't used them. They look okay. I like some of the things they're posting, but large green candles back up. Can't get through. We're stuck between 590 and 620. Call selling on the options. Call selling on the options. $602. Heard about one prop firm that'll put you on a salary if you go live. Really? Haven't heard about that. That's interesting. 589 down to about 530 or so. Another bottom wick. All reds are top wicked. Or all reds are bottom wicked and all greens are top wicked. We are flat. There's another red candle instantly bottom wicked. We're having 20 to 30 point wicks in every direction. It's completely erratic. There's no signal for anything here. And of course, the markets do not want to drop whatsoever. There's another big green bottom wick. There we go. Do I use Bookmap still? Yes, I do. Every day on my laptop, I've got Bookmap on there. I can't put it on the stream right now though because, like I said, it keeps on smoking my computer. Hey, another bottom wick. 6:30. $1.1 billion put sold. And markets are flying. There's 630, 640, and it looks like we're going right back on up. There we go. 640. We're about to see a massive green candle. And boom. Off to the races, baby. There we go. 4644. The market that refused to sell is back, baby. The markets that refuse to sell is back. Wait till tomorrow. I promise you. I promise you. How much you want to bet they'll undo every single point of this tomorrow? Every point tomorrow. How much you want to bet? This is what they do. On Mondays, it's the unshortable day. Mondays have become the unshortable days. And then over tomorrow, they'll undo every single penny of it. Go back and look. They're doing this every Monday. Five minutes before close, yeah. Massive green. Here we go. Here we go. Flying, yeah. I'm telling you, man. Mondays are unsellable. You can't short Mondays. Can't short Mondays. You forgot that rule? Yeah. All right, quick 100-point bounce off of 590 rule. I took full profits with no runners at 594. Nice. Well done. Well done. Well, I apologize I haven't been more helpful today. Haven't really done much here. So I trust Mondays very little. Very little. Very little. Pretty much. Pretty much. I like to change them out of the conditions. Appreciate you, Zach. Thank you. You think we can get an update for some long-term investments? Have you seen anything interesting besides teal? Honestly, I'm not doing much. Like, what you see, what is what you get here the past 6 months. My only thing, because I mean, the last investment update I gave you was the 401k. Like, I moved my 401k into a non-investable status. My stocks are my next thing to do, which at this point, the only thing I'm really looking to do is there's two things I'm looking to do. One, long energy. Number two, completely divest my portfolio. And that's about it. I'm already invested, I'm already long defense stocks. I'm pretty much perpetually long defense stocks. I mean, we live in a world where war is pretty much perpetual. But if I come up with anything, 100%, I'll share it with y'all. 100%. I mean, that's why we're here. What's up, big fan? What's up, Yofami? How you doing? Why are certain price targets considered for 3Cs? They all are. So I look, my job here is that there are times where I find nothing of value, and there's times I find a lot. It really depends on the cleanliness of the price action in the 3Cs, which we don't always get. Some days are just more certain than others. Today's price action, I'm not really finding a lot, me personally. Some people might find this condition's great. Me, I don't. So I like to look for large sweeps. I like to look for high areas of liquidity, historical or otherwise. I like to look for major bounces and resistance pivots. It's good stuff. Today, I'm just not finding a lot of that. I was looking up stuff a while back. It's crazy. We should be living like Star Trek, but even Star Trek was fighting everyone. There's something like 14,000 battles recorded throughout our 3,000 to 5,000 years of recorded history. All we do is war. Yeah. I just can't trust a thing on the market. I can't say anything past 5 minutes. Yeah, it's very difficult, and it's you're not the only one. There are people getting wrecked the past 6 months because the market's been back and forth. So the best thing I can offer is that go find value everywhere else. Look at silver, look at gold, look at oil, look at energy right now. Energy has been on the hot plate now. And if you really want to get good, find the next value play. Because in the wintertime, it was precious metals. Now it's energy. What's the next play? trades, you know. New high of the day there, NASDAQ just tipped below new high of the day. Do you go over oil or gold trades? Yes, I do. What the main thing I trade? I would probably say NASDAQ and the S&P are the main things I trade, but I'm like I said, I look for value where I can find it. I took a lot of silver and gold trades back in December and January, not so much now. Now I'm trading best as I can. I'm not doing a lot of trading right now because the markets are just back and forth. But NASDAQ and the S&P. Back and forth. There's a new high of the day after we finally bounced off of the 590 range. Very weird level to pivot off of, by the way, but whatever. Lawmakers introduced bipartisan bills to ban all sports betting prediction markets, such as Polymarket. I'm glad they have their priorities straight. How about we worry about pedophilia and fraud, but nope, let's worry about Polymarket. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. What's good versus an ideal volume for 3C conversations based on given time frames? Yeah, it is based on time frames. So, you know, I monitor the 1 minute chart like I'm on now only for volume. I don't really care about the volumetrics or topics on the 1 minute because they're pretty much erratic. I look for volume spikes. Right now, the reason why I'm not doing much is because look at the volume. There's not really any outlier volume here. If you want to see outlier volume spikes, this is what I want to look for on a volume spike. Something that's obviously high right here. This is a fantastic right here, 3C. Markets climb, 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 climb. We have a tremendous amount of volume come in right at the highs to give us a top, and that would have netted you about 150 points on NASDAQ. So that's why I just collapsed my screen down here. That's why in today's session, there's not much for me to really pound the table on. There's not much. Yes, we have a couple of higher volume fluctuations, but there's nothing that's showing me, hey, the sellers are really starting to hit the tape here, so I'm not going to short this. So when I see the volume on the 1, I switch to the 5, and I look for any kind of follow-through. Do we have a top wick or bottom wick? Do we have a seller's wick or a buyer's wick? How strong is that wick? How big is the candle? It's just basic price action analysis. And then after I get that, I switch to longer time frames to see if there's anything else I can get out of it. And then the third C is the follow-through. Are the sellers not only hitting that candle, but are they following through to give us a lower low? Or a higher high if you're looking for a bounce. But the higher volume you demand for a trade, the cleaner your trade is going to be and the more profits you're going to get out of it. And the less trades you're going to take. Taking less trades is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. Traders tend to overtrade to a very large degree. Sometimes trading, I think now prop firms it's probably normal for traders to take 30 trades a day, which to me is complete insanity. But that's become pretty normalized these days. I'd probably have to get on heart medication if I was taking 30 trades a day. What about the TPT 50 trade rule at pro level? I actually have no idea about that rule. I've never traded 50 times in a day. 5,000 times a day. I know the environment is not there for swing trading, but what time frame to use to start looking for volume anomalies? To look for a swing. If I'm looking for volume anomalies, I want to see it show up on the 30-minute and 60-minute charts. That's going to give that the 30-minute chart is the equivalent to the 1-minute chart for swing trades. That's going to show me, all right, the buyers are starting, or whatever volume is starting to hit on the moderate time frames, and that's going to flow into the larger time frames. If you see an aggressive wick with high volume on the 30-minute, you're going to start to see that reflect on the 60 and the 40 and the 240-minute chart. And then hopefully that manifests up to the daily chart once the price action starts to move. But the 30-minute is pretty much the lowest time frame I start to look for on the swing trades. Good question, though. Good stuff. I promise you, man, less is more. I may not be like other traders in terms of, I'm not sitting here cranking millions of dollars, but I'm also not trading a bunch. I'm not sitting here trading 50 times a day like some of these idiots. I just can't do it. I don't see how anybody can do it. A little bit of a top wick. You're welcome, B. Curly. You're welcome. I have not seen that, trader. So I trade a lot of scalps and never hit 50 trade roll on TPT. Yeah. NASDAQ is coming off another sweeping top wick off of the 687. So we had volume spike on that candle to hit supply. We had a top wick off of the 688, and we do have a technical 3C here from the 650 mark on down. It's whether or not you want to trade it. They are selling a whole bunch of calls here. Again, I'm not really interested in doing a lot of shorting on today's price action unless something really gives me a good reason to do so. I have 4 Lambos. I would never buy a Lambo. In reality, you might get 1 to 2 clean setups a day, 100%. I read something yesterday at the pro level you need to have 50 trades to avoid idling. I've never heard that. If you ever, you can go to their knowledge base. $21,000 lots were placed on the charts 3 minutes before Trump tweeted that. Hey, big red candles. Big red candles, nice. Heck, that was a 80-point rejection all the way back down. So that's a location mechanism. So the fourth C, which is it's not something I officially state, but the fourth C is location, and we have that little pivot off of 688, which is the current high of the day, which is the red line. We have a 3C off of it, and now we have a move lower. So yeah, beautiful stuff. It just bought a bunch of puts and sold off a bunch of calls. TakeProfitTrader 50 execution rules, a consistency measure requiring at least 50 trades. That's not accurate. I don't know what that is, but that's not true. Yeah, that's fake. That's not real. Do not believe that. That would be insanity. Kids these days take ChatGPT as its gospel, and it's pretty much all wrong anyway. ChatGPT said this. All right. Good for you. Hey, bottom wick back up. Logging off for lunch. Nice. Yeah, we are coming up on the end of the stream here. I haven't done much. I apologize. Things have been a little slow. So if you have any questions, let me know. I've tried to answer as many questions as I can here. And, yeah, go for there. Thanks, Mojo. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Not to mention, y'all know that Mondays are typically my worst day of the week. So unless I see something very clear, I'm playing with caution. Gotta learn patience get chopped up. Overnight high. Yep, right on back up. That's a high volume hammer off of this little 9600 range we stuck at, which is a weird level for them to pick. But regardless, they picked it, and that's what they're defending. That's what they are defending. I've tried using AI ChatGPT for troubleshooting PC problems and generally stuff for gaming. It's mostly asinine intelligence in existence. Yeah, it's This is one of the hardest markets you've trading in recent years. 100%. So this market, from June until now, has been the flattest markets we've experienced since 2018. And prior to the coronavirus, like I said, I was looking to get out of the markets and transfer into completely real estate. But then, as we all know, as coronavirus happened, so that could happen again if we stick to this range crap and go back to 2018 style price action, which we're still not there yet. The price action now is still way too volatile to be considered what was happening back then. Back then, the VIX was 8, and price action was incredibly tight. Now things are more playable than 2018. It's just we're flat. In my opinion, this is not indicative of a lack of volatility. It's more indicative of a change of character. Change of character is when the markets shift from one direction to another, and they start operating a little bit differently, which I think we can all agree is happening, which I think is leading up to a drawdown. So, why would you quit trading? There wasn't any money to be made in 2018. There was no money to be made. You couldn't scalp. You couldn't write spreads. You couldn't sell options. It was a grind. It was a waste of time. It might be a flat market, but range has been large, so it's good for day trading. For the most part, yeah, it's been decent for day trading. And of course, there are sessions like today where it's kind of all over the place. But yeah. Another big move back over. And I told the members in the Discord this morning, I said, you absolutely need to pull position sizing way back. This is not the day to be large, their max position sizing. Another red candle back over. Bottom wick and top wick. Back and forth. Could you not change your approach? I was trading in 17. If you had a decent year in 17, 18, then you don't need to be asking me questions because you're a much better trader than I am. Those were incredibly difficult market conditions to trade, so. I am not one of those people who romanticizes trading. I'm not one of those people sitting here saying trading is the greatest thing in the world, because it's not. It's incredibly difficult and it takes a lot of time and energy. And if I'm sitting here making minimal profits, not to mention I loved what I was doing. I loved my career in the W-2 field. I have better uses of my time. What do you think about the break and retest range plays? I like that. You know, that kind of plays into my retests. So break and retest kind of plays into my 3 Cs, where if in the SR flips, that's all that is an SR flip. If you break the range, then come back and retest that range, that turns a prior resistance into a new support, and that is a executable play. Which, like right now, if we have a break play here, which if things go bullish and we break, come back and retest that morning range, I want to be longing this 600 to 700 level and go up. So I doubt I'm a better trader than you. I was just curious that someone with your experience would have preferred to sit out the whole year of trading. It was a grind. It was a grind fest, and it was not worth it for me. And you know, I'm a big believer in real estate. You know, trading is not my only source of income. It is not my only investment source of income either. I do have some real estate properties, and I'd be happy to have discussions about that off stream, something else as well, or a YouTube video. But you know, real estate is something I'm very passionate in. And it got to the point where of course, this was before home prices exploded. 2018, we hadn't faced the housing bubble of 2020 yet, so it was still very much an investable play. And I was like, hey, why don't I just take the money I've made in the markets and transfer it into more real estate and just kind of kick back and relax? And I was looking to do that. Now it's a little bit more difficult because housing prices have more than doubled since then. Do you only buy homes, or do you have land? I have land and homes. I don't have commercial. I want to get into commercial, but it's very difficult right now. Like, my goal was to transfer into commercial. My aunt made her living off of commercial properties, and that's kind of what got me into it, and I wanted to learn from her and transfer into commercial properties. But as we all know, housing valuations of properties went crazy, especially in my market, my neck of the woods. All you dang Californians came over here and ruined it for the rest of us. So its prices are insanely high. And the U.S. house prices have doubled, more than doubled, possibly even tripled. Am I renting? Yeah, I am. I want to do commercial as well, but I don't have faith in it anymore since COVID. Your commercial has made a huge rebound, I bet. We ruin it everywhere we go. Yeah. So anyway, we're having this back and forth here on this red. Like I said, this is not playable for me. I'm good. I'm from London, England. That was not the case. Yeah. Housing prices in the U.S. have gone insane, absolutely insane. For example, the first home I bought was $148,000 in 2000. When was that? 12. $148,000. That same home right now is worth over 500 grand. It's insane. Square footages are anywhere from 320 to 350 a square foot for a new home. $60,000 an acre for blank land in the country. $60,000 an acre. I don't know if y'all deal with acres over in London. What do y'all call it? Y'all probably call it like something different. Square meters or something. Property in UK is crazy. You don't get much for your money. I bet. I bet. I'm shocked. Younger generation must be struggling hard. They are, yeah. I mean, it's going to be difficult for our children to be able to afford a house. I mean, like I said, 2012, $148,000 is a great starter home. Now, $148,000 gets you literally nothing. There's nothing for 148 grand. It's all 300 or plus. So we are trending down a little bit after the beautiful high volume. So in my opinion, this setup here was the cleanest one of the day. After the little fade, nice little wicks, wasn't immediate off of the location of overnight of the range high, and now we're trending back down. You have to get under this little pivot here, this 3C. This 590 on NASDAQ is concrete. So if they can finally take that out, we can start finally gunning for 432. But in my opinion, the move is going to be made either late today or tomorrow, sometime, late afternoon and beyond is when they're going to make the move, is what I'll say. Another wild week ahead, yeah. That's why we got super lucky with our house, I bet. The City of London announced that they are going to be out of the office space in a couple years and mandating room for office space. Interesting. So ES needs about the same, same equivalent. They need 6680 or so to get under this 3C, and they could start eating down. But it is beyond 10:30 here, so I am going to call it a morning. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Go check out the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Watch videos and ask questions. Hit me up on the streams. Come back on, and if you have questions, I'll answer them as best as I can. I try to be as interactive as I can be. But yeah, we have a very mundane week with catalysts, at least known catalysts. Of course, the main hot ticket item right now is the war. It is Trump's tweets, it's Iranian tweets, it's missiles, it's all this stuff going on. Geopolitical climate is pretty hot right now. So, yeah. If you have any questions, hit me up. Other than that, I will see you all bright and early Wednesday morning for the next public stream, and then I'll see the Discord members tomorrow morning for the closed stream. So, hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm out.